Hello and welcome to One More Time with Sam Bashor. That's me. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us once again on Fridays. Hope your Friday is starting off well and hopefully this brightens your day. This is the show where me, Sam, and a couple of my friends dive into movies or TV shows that we either really, really love or really, really hate. Let's just be honest. So far, we've taken a dive through Avatar: The Last Airbender Season 1, as well as Suicide Squad and Transformers: The Last Night. That's Transformers 5s for the plebeians. Thanks so much for watching those or listening to those. Yes, you can watch those episodes on youtube.com/SamBasher or listen to them anywhere you get your podcasts. That's Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Yep, that's what it's called. Overcast? I think that's one. But also, you might hear throughout these episodes ads for Anchor. Now, Anchor.fm is an amazing platform that features this podcast, hosts it, pushes it out to all the places you get your podcasts, as well as helps it grow an audience and yada, yada, yada. It does all the cool stuff that makes this show possible. And also, just because you're going to hear it in the ad later, but I always like to kind of pimp it out a little bit, it's totally free to use. So if you've ever had an itch that you need to scratch, aka you want to make a podcast. We're not going to edit this episode. Let's just keep on plowing through it. Basically, if you have an idea, you want to make a show, check out Anchor.fm and make sure you subscribe to Anchor.fm/SamBasher to get up-to-date updates about this show. Now, today we're going to be diving right back into Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I want to say thank you to everyone who has listened on Apple Podcasts. There's been reviews coming in there, and every time I see a 5-star review, boy howdy does it make my day. Oh, it just makes my little heart shine. So if you wouldn't mind, if you're enjoying this show, or you have suggestions, or hey, if you want to do a 1-star review, it will ruin me. But you can do that over at Apple Podcasts. Anchor, hey, if you're listening to this, please maybe put in a comment section on your website, because I will definitely read from that. Greatly appreciate it. Also, thank you to everyone who's subscribed on the YouTube channel, and I've been doing live streams there on Mondays. I wasn't able to do one this week, but because I went to a wedding this weekend and I was a tired boy. But usually on Mondays, I talk about the newest nerdy news of the week. So make sure you subscribe over there, get your notifications on. That way you can join us live, and it's been a fun hangout sesh that I want to do more often. Now, let's go ahead and kick it off. We're talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, and also there will be more bad movie reviews coming soon. But let's go ahead and keep on trucking through the first season of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Last week we had Jimmy Frazier, aka JShark111, over at twitch.tv/Undue Circle, who joined us, talking about one of the least liked, not hated, or worst, let's call it the least liked episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, we're about to get into some of the most beloved episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender that I cannot wait for. So, we always do these 2 at a time. Let's kick it off with episode 1-13, The Blue Spirit. Quickie synopsis: when Aang is captured by the Fire Nation, his only hope is a mysterious masked figure. So, I keep trying out different formats for this show, but I just kind of want to let's do a little train of thought here. Let's kind of work our way through the best parts of this episode. And of course, it's the Blue Spirit. And I actually, when I was talking to DJ, co-host over at Only Stupid Answers, he mentioned that this was the episode that got him interested in the show because of the twist with the Blue Spirit. Honestly, honest to goodness, didn't see that coming. And even in this episode, I was surprised at how they just didn't wait to reveal it. They just, by the end of the episode, you knew who the Blue Spirit was. But also, it's kind of like The Good Place when it comes to revealing just any surprise that they have in that show. By the way, I'm not going to go spoil a different show if you have not watched The Good Place, but I highly recommend that you check that out, by the way. Anyways, off track here. I'm surprised that they went ahead and revealed that. But when they did, it was fully worthwhile, and it also showed Zuko's prowess as a fighter, which was really cool. And it was just a good bottle episode where Katara and Sokka could be kind of relegated to the side a little bit. Momo got time to shine, going around picking up trash, putting trash in their mouths. You know, you remember that part of the episode. But you get to see Aang exploring the world, figuring out his place in the world, and also the Union. Let me go ahead and make sure I get the name right for the Archers, because I don't remember that part of the episode of these archers who are a perfect aim, they never miss, except against an airbender or when it's convenient, they don't miss. You know the rules. Those are the rules of any piece of fiction ever. Deadshot, Deathstroke, Batman, everybody's got really good aim until they don't. Hawkeye, nah, it just depends on who's writing and what the point of the story is. Oh, weird. I just got an ad for Hawkeye right now. Thanks, Google, for listening in. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Appreciate the support. Any hoozles, I like their introduction because I actually just started, or I mentioned this last week, I've read almost all of the Avatar: The Last Airbender comic books, the 3-parters that they put out. And in part 2, the Search, I believe that's the story where we're looking for Zuko and Azula's mother, another Yuyan archer is mentioned again. I'm gonna get poop in the chat if I don't. Oh, I don't have Wi-Fi. Let's see what this is. Welcome to On the Fly Researching. Will this work? Yes, it will. Yuyan! That's your boy. I got it right. Y'all are proud of me. Give me some thumbs up in the chat, would you please? Thank you so much. Yeah, no, the Yuyan Archer showed up in that story in the comic book, and I just didn't remember them. I'm gonna guess that one of them pops up with the Rhino Riders. The guys riding we saw some of the the Komodo rhinos when we were at Kyoshi Island, but then we're gonna see the Rhino Riders, or you guys know. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, oh boy, there's going to be some fun stuff coming down the pike. Anyways, big fan of archers when they're cool, and they were super cool. And they got like a Nightwing mask on their face. That ain't too bad, huh? Exactly. You guys agree with me. And the way that the fighting styles mash between Zuko, aka Blue Spirit, and with Aang, and we're seeing Zhao starting to move up the ranks rather quickly. Rut-row Spadudios for both of our teams. Can we get a Rut-row in the chat, please? Anybody like that? I can stop doing that, by the way. I'm just going to need to hear plenty of feedback to know how to improve this show. Any hoozles. The mixture of their hand-to-hand combat, that Blue Spirit's kind of moving, you get kind of hints of his firebending without the firepower behind it, but at the same time it almost seems like he studied airbending as he's moving through like the obstacles and hopping from rooftop to rooftop. And back to back, the way that they utilize like the bamboo roots. I like saying that. Anyways, the way that they use that to escape, I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's just the way that the showrunners actively utilize every part of their world building. You know what I mean? When it comes to how are these people going to use their either like abilities that they were born with or the ones that they learned over time, how are they going to utilize this to get out of this tricky situation? And it's always different every time we encounter it, which I truly appreciate. So in this episode, you got to see just some stellar hand-to-hand combat from both parties, and it just, once again, after the storm, the last episode we talked about, and it's starting to make Zuko more complicated. Because you know why he's doing this, really, is so that he can have he can capture the Avatar himself, and then he can run away with the Avatar, blah, blah, blah. That's what he was trying to do. Also, totally forgot that Zuko almost got an arrow through the head, and it was just so happened that his mask was a little bit thicker. But hey, you know what? I'm not gonna... I don't smooch a gift horse in the mouth. I don't know what that is. I don't know what I'm saying, but that's a saying. I'm getting close here. But overall, the big highlights for this episode are the introduction of the Blue Spirit and the combat, because and the Aang's confrontation with Zuko, right? Because in this, it allows Aang to have it almost feels like a juvenile decision that he has to make when it comes to Zuko's fate. You know that he's a peaceful person, and in combat it's kind of like the last thing he wants to get into, but he is faced with a challenge here where someone who has hunted down and threatened the people he cares about and himself over the past few months is now right there, and he's able to subdue him, but at the same time he's kind of seeing the future that possibly they could be allies, friends even. Maybe that's too outlandish. And also you can see the complications and like the thought process going through Zuko when it comes to what he's supposed to do with the Avatar as he's locked up and frozen. But that being said, Zhao is a credible threat in this episode, and Zuko and Aang teaming up is just more tasty goodies that we get to hold on to until we get to season 3, because boy howdy do I love when they get to team up back to back. Boys are back in town. Yes, this was a phenomenal episode, a big standout for myself, and I know for a lot of you as well. So I got to give this, you asking yourself, wait, Sam, when are you going to do a rating? Oh, don't worry, 3, 2, 1, 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. Genuinely really loved this episode. They did you had enough comedic timing where it felt like you had enough comedic beats with Katara and Sokka being out of commission, sucking on frogs. And also the frogs popping up later and crawling around like the fortress. Pretty good joke. But no, it just did a good job balancing the little bit of comedy there, but also the genuine threat of the Aang avatar being chained up in Zhao's fortress, because I didn't know how the boy is going to get out of there if we didn't have that blue spirit there by his side, his best pal, Zuko. Anywho's, gave a rating. Let's go ahead and scooch our pooches over to episode 114, The Fortuneteller. Now, quickie synopsis for those of you who are curious, because I know you're all curious little kittens over there. Didn't like saying that. Anywho, the gang visits a village where Fortuneteller lives, who is said to never be wrong. Aang tries to show Katara how he feels about her. Ruh-roh. By the way, fun little fact from our good pals over at IMDb. There was a fun fact that Mang, the voice actress who plays Mang, the girl who has a crush on Aang, is the same voice actress who plays Toph in season 2. Can't wait to see our best friend Toph. Yeah, so we're, classic lesson in this episode, right? It's a pretty throwaway one, but, it's starting to sow the seeds of Katara and Aang kissing. Honestly, as a kid, this was more fun to watch. It's just weirder, when you're, rooting for kid characters to get together as an adult. I don't feel good about it, but I know they're going to get together, and I'm happy to be along for the journey as they figure out their feelings for one another. Oh, these crazy kids. Am I right, everybody? Let's give a big shout out to Aunt Wu in the chat, please, because the bone reading is super interesting, the way the bones crack, and she's able to read your future. And also a big fan of the platypus bear that shows up, am I right? It lays eggs. Imagine if a regular bear laid eggs. What kind of yolks you can get out of that one? That's going to be an omelet that could feed a family of 8. Let's go ahead and see. Bone cracking prophecy. You're getting a lot of chiropractic stuff. Why are my bones cracking so much? Oracle bone. Here we go. There's a fun fact for you. Ooh, Wikipedia's taking its time. Yes. Oracle bones are pieces of ox scapula or turtle plastron, nailing this, which were used for pyromancy or a form of divination in ancient China, mainly during the late Shang dynasty. All right, so you would... Discovery, go ahead. Oh my god, I can't. Oh my god, there's so much information here. I don't want to read the rest of it. Basically, burning on different types of bone so that you can divine things that could happen in one's future. Really doing a piss poor job summing that up, but hey, you guys get the drift. Also, the big thing here is Katara coming to her senses and saying, hey, maybe Aang ain't that bad of a guy. And also for Aang to be like, hey, maybe you should chill out and not force this, because that's not good either. It kind of goes both ways. Katara, hey, you got the literal, basically, Jesus Christ over there, and he's spending all kinds of stuff. Maybe see if he's your guy. Actually, he's kind of like a 11-year-old, and she's what, 30? No, she's like 13, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, that sounds right. Good job, Sam. That's good research. Thank you, Sam. Did a very good job. Thank you. You're seeing these relationships evolve, but most importantly, what's evolving is Aang's leadership skills. I like the way he pulls this town together, the way he's able to. And also, even though Sokka was left to being the wet blanket in this episode, I like seeing them team up together and work together and discover, you got a volcano on your hands, and there's only one thing to do: build a big hole so all the volcano stuff can go right back into the volcano. You guys are familiar with this. Aang he's developing his powers and they're becoming stronger and stronger. He makes a gigantic shell that goes all over the city. Because he can't earthbend, so he can't really do anything after that all cooled down, right? Yet, hope he goes back, right? Like, you kind of hope he figures it out that he needs to go back there and take that stuff down. Like, you can't leave that there, right? I wouldn't. That's bad manners. If I had a say in it, then I don't. So who cares what I have to say about it? But, man, every, 3 episodes now, we're kind of getting these stellar action scenes where we're seeing the Avatar state in full form, and it is always scary, but super duper cool. And also, that was really quick thinking. I mean, not because you just basically pointed a fan at a volcano going off and you got lucky that it stopped it, but quick thinking, and he's learning to think on his tippy toes. And also, speaking of Mang, bringing it back around, I actually like the character. She's young, she's naive, she just loves her avatar, man, and who can blame her? He's like the goddamn savior of the universe. Bayman. Voice cracked a little bit, and that's for the boys and girls who have listened to the back half of the episodes. I can't tell how long people stay around, but I appreciate it. Anyways, back to Mang. Ooh, we're doing full stream of consciousness on this episode. I just like that has an obsessive side to her where she wants to impress Aang. She's jealous of Katara, but also she's understanding and has this mature sense of herself and what Aang means to her. And while this whole village is hanging on every single word that this fortune teller has to say, you get to see her grow and change. And I'm going to be honest, really don't think we're going to get this character ever again. Don't think we ever get her again. But I do like that she just kind of is able to grow and change throughout the episode more so than maybe our main characters do usually. I mean, she has more growth than most characters do in any TV show. So, but it also felt natural, and I appreciated that. But the big things that I like in this is that we got to see the relationship evolve. I believe I've said that about 4 times now. Here's the 5th time. I'm a big fan of how their relationship evolved. Sokka got to be a wet blanket, and you got some more cool avatar powers. And I'm trying to find, and also we found a new way to read your fortune. So if you've got some animal bones near you, it's got to be ox or a turtle plastron. Oh god. Oh, it's turtle shell. That's cool. You never want to be, I don't want to be offensive here and ever sound like I'm making fun of something. But hey, if you're curious about if you want to know what's going on in your future, how about you find a person that can read oracle bones and figure out what they got to say about you? Because so far we know it could maybe look at your love life. Maybe they can use them to figure out if you're going to die in a war. Yeah, don't knock it till you try it, folks. But yeah, out of the 10 volcano shell domes that are super cool around your city, I give it like a 7 out of 10. It seems fair. Do you find that fair? Well, you're going to have to let me know at Sam Bashor on Twitter. And also, go ahead and go to the Apple Podcast. If you're saying to yourself, hey, I'm an Android user. Hey, I'm a PC user. Hey, I never used an Apple product in my life. Well, don't worry, gang. I got an answer for you. There's an Apple store on every street corner in America. And all you need to go in there is go to one of those stores, make a fake account, write a review, delete the account, delete your entire presence on Apple, maybe grab some AirPods, and then go ahead and get out of there. Let's not kid ourselves. The AirPods are pretty cool. I want a pair, but I'm not going to buy them, so I'm putting it out into the universe for Christmas. If anyone wants to surprise me. Again, just putting it out in the universe. If anyone wants to get me some. Anyways, don't do that, please. That's a bad idea. Anyways, thanks for supporting the podcast when you can. You know what I really like? Most of all is when you guys are able to send me audio messages. We've got a couple so far, and I know I mention them a lot, and they're not always in the episodes, but I appreciate when they arrive in my Anchor.fm app. You've heard that name a couple times in this episode. Guess what? Here's another one. If you download the app for free, you can start a podcast today, and also you can subscribe to my podcast and send me audio messages and support the show however you want. There's actually a listener support section that you can support it with a I don't know, donation or whatever. It's there. That's not something you need to do because there's a Patreon that you can support for Only Stupid Answers. But if you ever wanted to, check it out. Appreciate it. But most of all, I just appreciate you guys listening to this or watching it on YouTube. And if you're watching these audio waveforms, I just hope you like the little animation that I made. It took me a long time to figure it out, and it wasn't easy. And there's a really cool dog walking by right now. Yes, I'm filming this in my car, recording this in my car. The outro is a little too long now. Anyways, be back Friday. Love you, bye.